Greetings, traveller. You awake to find yourself in the world of S.Robert Speel, dreamweaver, visionary, architecture enthusiast. Today we're looking at his Anarchic System, a system for creating many different adventure games. You may find yourself on a quest to find buried gold. You may find yourself on a deserted plain, but luckily there's a marrow at your feet. Four adventures greet us today: Valley of the Swampbeast, the Hoard of the Exile, Island of the Penguins, and finally, the most deadly of all, the Labyrinth of the Minotaur. Dare you enter? Hi, Bob.
Today we return to New Adventure Systems for the Spectrum by S.Robert Speel. It's a text adventure. Oh, look, another text adventure. But no, don't be fooled, because this is not just any text adventure. This is the first in S.Robert Speel's Anarchic System. It's a system where he provides a player program into which you can add on different adventures by changing the data statements. And he even provides a creator for creating said data statements. The first adventure is a little sample, and it's called Valley of the Swampbeast. There are two legends about the valley which you have entered. One is that a great treasure is hidden there. The other is that a huge monster, the Swampbeast, guards it. Can you overcome the Swampbeast and take the treasure? We start off on a grassy plain. All about us are plains. There is a marrow here, and we get to go north, east, south, and west. One of the innovations of the Anarchic System is the inventory system. Most adventure games limit you by the number of items that you can carry, which gets a bit ridiculous when you can't pick up a key because you can't carry any more items, but you can carry like 12 boats, but you can't carry 13 keys. So each item in the Anarchic System has length, breadth, and depth, as well as weight. And there are limits to how much of each you can carry. So let's look at this marrow. And we see that the marrow lying on the ground in front of us is 20 centimetres long, 10 centimetres wide, and 10 centimetres thick. The maximum volume you can carry is 1 cubic metre, and any item greater than 80 you can't pick up. So if we pick up a marrow, you can pick up a plank. We've got two hands. Items also have weight. You're limited to 25 kilos and nothing greater than 15. And here we have a sword. Items also have resistance. So you get to move around the world, and here I've moved into a space, and it's a death space. Some locations are deadly. That was a swamp. You can rerun it again. And again we have the marrow, and we can pick it up. Another innovation is in digging. You get to dig with things, but obviously not if they're too big or too floppy. The marrow is too big to dig with. Depending on how good you can dig with things, you can dig to different depths. A few centimetres, for example, digging with your hands, scrabbling at the earth, 50 centimetres or a metre. Let's skip forward now. We've now found the Swampbeast, and monsters start at a distance away from you, and you can throw things at them. So I'm going to throw a plank at the deadly Swampbeast in hope of killing it. I hit the Swampbeast and it's hurt. Excellent. It's now close to me, and I have two choices of combat. You can hit with things, or you can stab with things. Here I tried to hit the Swampbeast with a sword. My sword is now broken, and I get to punch it. And I'm going to try and punch the Swampbeast to death. You can also hit. Hitting things is better for things that are heavy. Stabbing is better, at least in theory, with long, narrow items. For example, you might think swords and spears. Unfortunately, I've died from my wounds. This is the second game, Hoard of the Exile. This is a bigger game. In this one, you've translated some ancient documents and have uncovered a legend of a buried treasure buried by a gorge by an ancient king. You found a gorge on a map, and you've flown over it with your pilot. We can't land though. You've parachuted out, and the aim is your pilot's going to return later on with a helicopter to rescue you. But in the excitement of jumping out, you've not brought any equipment with you. You big silly. So you're now in the middle of a large forest. Somewhere there is a treasure. You need to find it. So this is another location system. You have to search for things. More things to search for. But in this one, there aren't any monsters. And you see here, we're in a clearing. That's the type of location. With a special description. Unclimbable cliff is to the north. So you can't go north. But here in a dark forest. Deep Gorge to the east. Go east. And this is another instant death location, the Deep Gorge. However, unlike the swamp in Valley of the Swampbeast, there is no way to survive the gorge. The way that works is when it checks for the object, looks for an object you need to go in. If the object number is higher than the number of objects in the game, that's just instant death. So here we have various types of locations, grassy hills, you can dig in places. I had trouble with this one because I typed in a line wrong. Because I typed it in wrong, one of the objects didn't actually exist. And by bad luck, that object that didn't exist was the object you need to dig. So here I found someone's already been digging shallow holes, and with my hands I can dig only a few centimetres deep. So we move around this forest, and there's various heaths and places. And here's our gorge. And we're looking around, trying to find something useful to do. So you can't dig very far because you've got no equipment. But at least there aren't any monsters to try and kill us. If you try and do something you can't do, it'll just beep at you, which is, again, fair enough. And now we found a plank. This is the object I couldn't find. And if we use the look at verb, so we can't examine, you look at. And it's 1.4 metres long, 15 centimetres wide, 2 centimetres thick. So it's reasonable for digging. And now, although we've dug shallow holes, we're going to dig with a plank. Good sound effect there. And we found a sack. Now, we found an object, which is the sack. Now, this sack in particular is 30 centimetres long, 30 centimetres wide, 30 centimetres thick. It's old and dirty. We can open the sack and find a shovel. Shovel would be useful. And it's obviously some kind of magic sack because the shovel is 1.2 metres long. But now at the end of the game, once you've found the secret hoard, we get a nice drawing of a treasure chest full of treasure, which we like, and a victory tune. Oh yeah! This is the third game, Island of the Penguins. After a terrific storm, during which your ship sinks, you are washed ashore on a barren, snow-covered island. To the northeast, you see a boat on the rocks. There's water in the way, but you think by scrambling over the ice floes you can reach the boat. Your task is to find a paddle and get to the boat. 2 victory conditions: reach your location, the boat, and find an object, the paddle. We start off on a rocky shore. Let's get started by heading east. We are on an ice sheet, and we lose our footing and slide to our doom. And we've died. So let's start again, and hopefully not die instantly on our first move. We're back on our rocky shore. This time, let's head west, because east is instant death. We're now on a rocky plain, and there is a rock. So let's look at this rock. And it's 20 centimetres long, 2 centimetres wide, 2 centimetres thick. That might come in handy, because there are probably wild animals around. We're still on a rocky plain. Let's now head south. We're now on a rocky crag. And now we have a penguin. This is the vectored graphic system, which was first introduced by me in the preset Future adventure. But this is the penguin graphic suggested by Bob Speel, used in the game. And it's scalable. So we're using all of these. For all the monsters in this game, we are going to be having aligned vector graphics. We started off by throwing our rock at the penguin and missed. So now I'm going to have to try and punch the penguin to death. I have no other equipment. The only thing I had was a rock. But I've managed to punch a penguin to death. Obviously, Rocky's inspired me. We now have a rock and an egg. Let's go west on a rocky plain. Obviously, you're big fans of Rocky in this adventure. We're now in an igloo, which is unusual for the southern hemisphere. But there's an ice pick and some nice tasty bread. Let's check out this bread. It's 30 centimetres long by 10 by 10, green and powdery. That sounds delicious, so let's eat it. Om nom nom. Oh, green and powdery bread is not good, it was poisonous. And I feel very weak. Let's now pick up the ice pick. And let's eat the egg to restore our strength. Luckily, the egg tastes delicious. On the rocky plain, let's head north. Now in a pine forest, and yes, yet another penguin. So I'm going to throw shit at the penguin. Let's throw a rock at the penguin. And I've missed again, like an idiot. But now I've got an ice pick. I could use it. I'm going to try and punch the penguin first. Let's use an ice pick to kill the penguin, like it's some kind of penguin Trotsky. And it's grievously wounded. We're doing pretty nice. Yay! And our ice pick is broken. This is a bad thing. But we have at least killed the penguin. It's what he deserves for all his crappy jokes on the back of the packet. But we have a rock. There's also a stick and an axe. We'll have those as well. In adventure games, take everything you possibly can. Some adventure games punish you for carrying the wrong items in the wrong place. This one doesn't. You are just limited to how much you can carry. We're now at a small hut with a very large penguin. And there's a steep slope going down to the north. Let's throw a rock at the penguin. Will we hit the damn thing? No. So let's now twat the penguin with our axe. It's looking good. Let's now hit him with our stick. Yes, another penguin is dead. Nice one. So let's now wander off down the slope. It's steep, we're okay. No, it's not okay, it's steep. We fall down the slope and we break our neck. Oh dear. We're now on an ice floe, deep water to the north, and there's a sea lion. Look at that amazing drawing of a sea lion done by me, roughly based on the picture on Wikipedia. So it looks a bit like a sea lion. So desperately trying to get away to this boat. Throwing everything but the kitchen sink. So we're throwing our sledge at the sea lion. Unfortunately, 20 metres is a long way to throw a sledge. It's now reached. We've now got a new weapon, the harpoon, which is very good at hurting people and things. So we're trying to basically... Yes, and we've killed the sea lion. We are the anti-David Attenborough. Can we reach the boat before we dive? And a rocky crag, the boat is to the east. In the original game, as written, this description, the boat is to your east, is in the game, but doesn't appear. And I changed the drawing from the treasure chest to a little drawing of a boat, which seemed more appropriate. And that was Island of the Penguins.
A kiss on the hoof can be quite continental, but diamonds are a bull's best friend. A kiss can be nice, but it won't pay the rental on your labyrinth or help you with the auto map. Milk gets cold as bulls grow old, and we all lose our horns in the end. But square cut or pear shape, these stones don't lose their shape. The moon's our ball best friend.
This is the fourth and final Anarchic System game included in the book, included in full, I should say, ready to play. Labyrinth of the Minotaur. The Minotaur, or Minotaur, lives in its traditional home, a labyrinth, guarding a huge diamond. You have gathered a small band of followers and arrived at the entrance of the maze. Your followers have decided not to go in with you, and are grumbling that you had better find them some gold to pay for their services up until now. So you venture into the labyrinth on your own to hunt the Minotaur. The Minotaur leads a good social life, and you are likely to meet some of its friends, but not yours. For example, a Centaur, Toadbeast, and Hydra. The labyrinth is also reputed to be the last home of the nearly extinct dodo. Note that one monster you may meet, the Drago, is so called because it is not quite as tough as a small dragon. Your aim is to kill the Minotaur, take its diamond, and escape with some extra gold for your followers. As you can see here, I've given it a little loading screen, and we've also given it a nice font number 31 from Charbank. We are at the entrance to the labyrinth. We can go north or south. Exit is to the north. I added a new verb to the game. The original game doesn't have many verbs. I had to do an extra one called score, which just tells you what your current score is. And at the start of the game, your current score is 0%. You need 100% to win, as you would imagine. So let's go north, and we're outside. And my accomplices, seeing me without the diamond, kill me. 25% of my mission, because I'm in the right place to win. So that's a good start. So let's try again. Back in the Minotaur, back in the labyrinth of the Minotaur, sorry. Let's now head south. I think adding a font does make a bit of a difference. I also there were some very minor bugs I noticed, one of which was to do with the dimension of objects. So you'd find a food object, look at it, pick up some of the stuff, and then you couldn't eat the food because it was too big, which didn't make any sense. But we'll get to that later. Here's the dagger. Here comes a dagger. So this dagger is... You think, oh, dagger, that'd be good for stabbing people with. Unfortunately, you'd be wrong. The dagger it's too short to be good at stabbing. Mr. Speel has worked out quite a clever combat system, and there are various, you can hit things that's depending on weight, stab them, you get a bonus if it's good at stabbing. Of all the weapons in all the 4 games we looked at so far, the only weapon that's better at stabbing than hitting is the sword, and that's only the sword in Treasure of the Swampbeast. But here now we have a Drago. See here we have the similar line type drawing we had before. There were 14 separate monsters in this game, so I had to create 14 separate line drawings. And because he encrypts these, encodes them rather than encrypts, as single graphic characters, each pair of numbers is only 1 byte, which is good because a number in BASIC is about 7 bytes. And you've got pairs of numbers, that's 14 bytes, plus the comma, 15 bytes. And a drawing like that could be 100 separate numbers. So when you fight monsters, you get to throw things at them first. Dagger is good at throwing at things. So I need to fight the Drago. So what do you do with Drago? Well, you punch it as hard as you can. It is grievously wounded. We're doing good. Remember that this Drago probably killed our friend Apollo. And it's killed me. So let's try again. We're now slightly further into the game. And we have found one of the legendary, nearly extinct dodos. Look at that. Look at the detail in that drawing. So I'm going to throw some stuff at this dodo. Let's chuck an axe at the bloody thing. And I've missed it. Typical. So let's try wanging it with our club, which we found earlier. And I've missed. Let's hit it with a sword. Swords are very good. So note here that it attacks me, but I parry it with my sword. So the monster can attack you and it can miss. It can attack you but you can dodge. It can attack you but you can parry it with your weapon, which has a defense value. Or it can hurt you, only bruise you, or it can hurt you with very little amounts. Here I've killed the dodo. I should be proud of myself. It was a menace. And you see here, there's my axe I threw and an egg. In the original game, there were 4 or 5 separate pieces of edible items. However, all but one of them were poisoned, which made it incredibly difficult. So what I've done is, rather than change them to not to be poisonous, I've made it so there's a chance they're poisonous. Some of them are 50-50-50 poisonous or not, and some of them are a 1 in 4 chance of it being poisonous. Here is now the Minotaur or Minotaur, 30 metres away. So let's desperately try and fight him by throwing things at him. Let's try our dagger, and we miss. Let's try now our javelin. We found a javelin which is 3 metres long, made of glass, very sharp, a very good weapon for hitting people, but we've missed. Let's now try our thrusty throwing axe. And we've missed, and our axe is broken. We're now locked in hand-to-hand combat with the Minotaur. Let's now try whacking him with our sword. I've wounded him, but my sword is now broken. Let's now try with our club. Fortunately, we can carry lots of weapons. I've seen in these games not been able to pick up a single object, but no actual inventory problems so far. The inventory system is quite generous in this regard. Let's try and keep whacking the Minotaur with our big club. Him and his little leather swimming trunks. It's very weak, so we've got him on the ropes. Just keep whacking away. Just keep whacking. And I'm rather battered too. Come on, a few more blows. And it's killed me. 0% of our goals. We have 4 goals, and we've achieved none of them. We're now towards the end of the game. We had yet another go. We're now at the exit. Unfortunately, a dodo has now turned up here. So I'm going to be waiting for the dodo to approach, and then I'm going to try and slice it up with my scythe, which is a scythe is an agricultural implement, a long curved blade on the end of a long stick. So this dodo is trying to menace me, and I'm slicing away just like the Grim Reaper, which is what we like. And my scythe is broken, but not before we dealt the fatal blow to this evil bird. Exit is to the north. So let's go north and see our... This is a new victory drawing I drew just for this game. A diamond. So in order to win, you need to be in this place with the diamond, having killed the Minotaur, and have enough gold to pay your followers. Thank you for watching.
I say nay! Nay! Get out of my labyrinth! Oh! Oh!